Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over some Kizers, but before we get into it, we got a brand new Vosteed, and this is the first collaboration between Vosteed and Ray Laconico. He has his nice classic lines, and just look at that contouring on those tie scales. It's a sexy knife, great EDC size. Look at that blind screwed mill tie pocket clip. It has a front flipper, works great. And the thumb studs work excellent as well. I have the black washed clip point here. They also have a non-coated without an anodization. Mine has that stone washed blue ano and the gold thumb studs. S35V in steel, nice and smooth. Yeah, my medium-sized hands, I get a nice 4-finger grip. I'll be doing a full testing and review of this one, but if anybody's interested, they are available, or at least they were at the time I'm shooting this. I will leave a link down in the description. We have the Kizer Militaw, an outstanding model for Kizer. This is a Jonathan Styles design. I absolutely loved it when I first reviewed it. And this is one of Kizer's most popular models for good reason. It's an excellent knife. It's got some of the best action. It's a great slicer. Yeah, all in all, I love it. This was the premium version with S35VN. I'm pretty sure, let's see. Yeah, S35VN on this one. They all have ridiculous action like that. The titanium ones is nice and contoured. Ergos are great. Now we have a Militaw Fixed Blade. This is the premium version. And spoiler, after I finished the testing on this one, they have some more budget versions, and I ordered one right away. So you got a nice minimal Kydex. Comes with a small Tech-Lock style belt clip attachment. I don't really like these at all because I like to clip to my pocket. So I'm rocking a 3.3 Ulti-Clip on it. I will leave a link to this down below as well. I do wish they could have came up higher with the Kydex sheath, but I know that's where the retention spot is. It just makes it to where this is all sticking out of the pocket sometimes. Now, depending on the shorts I'm wearing or pants, it does kind of cant it up like that. A nice, beautiful push-off point. Excellent. No rattle whatsoever. As you can see, the Militaw Fixed Blade is actually a little bit longer than the original Militaw folder. You got more blade length. You have about the same grip area if you're going to be holding it right here. But then you don't have this little flat spot. I do wish they would have given that, but for my medium-sized hands, I easily get a 4-finger grip. Should fit large hands fine. You can see mine looks pretty rough because I've already finished testing on it. But I do like the fact that being it's a fixed blade, you can add more blade length because you don't have to fold it up into a handle. So I like that. I like more blade. As long as I can get a nice full 4-finger grip on it, I'm good to go. This one's coming in at 8.18 inches long. It's got a 3.83 inch blade of S35V in steel on this premium one with a black coating. Definitely not my favorite when it comes to Kizer. I much prefer their black wash finishes. They do such a good job on that. I found this one to be pretty darn slicey. It's got 2 rows of functional jimping. You got this row right here if you choke back, you know, it's grippy enough. And then you have this row right here if you're doing any kind of, you know, push down cuts. That really makes me happy because I love jimping on my fixed blades, and I do a lot of cutting like that, especially when you're doing harder cutting like rope cutting. That works outstanding. It's got a good sharpening tool, unlike a lot of the folders. Like I said, they did a good job of thinning out this blade as much as they could. Mine comes down to around 18 to 19 thousandths behind the edge. And it came from factory with a 23 degrees per side edge bevel. So as soon as I finish this review, I'm going to lay that edge bevel back to probably 18 or 19 degrees, being that it is a fixed blade. And it does have a usable blade length here. I'm not going to lay it back as much as I do on my folders, because I tend to use these a little bit harder than my folders because they can handle a little bit more abuse. You have a pretty nice needle-like tip, great for piercing. Not really the drag cuts because the tip goes up a little bit higher because of that belly. I always use the belly just to do drag cuts, but I will say it performed really nicely. Now, it didn't come with a screaming sharp edge like most of my Kizers do. Out of all of them, all the ones I'm going to show today, I would say one of the budget versions had a better edge on it. Look, my dog thought it was terrible, but I told him it's not terrible. It still was able to do all the tests. It just didn't do it as good as one of the large budget version of this knife. Your handle's coming in at 4.35 inches long, and the total weight on this, which I don't love, and I'll tell you why, is coming in at 4.81 ounces. Now, that's not heavy by any means, but it's getting that extra weight because this is aluminum scales on top of steel. I do like the inlay we have here. This is gold camo, fat carbon right there. Nicely done. You got a nice contour. Everything's very comfortable. They got a small chamfer on all the edges, no sharp spots. This is actually the same as the blade hole. Full tank construction. Let's see, your balance is about right there, so not bad. So I'm actually excited to get the more budget version one because it's got G10 and micarta, so it should lighten it up a little bit. Through all the cutting, everything was very comfortable. You know, it's not a super thick handle, so, you know, over time, doing a lot of cutting over time could start to fatigue your wrists and forearms just because you're squeezing it a little bit tighter if you're doing those heavier cuts. But day-to-day EDC task, I think it's going to be just fine for that. I just noticed that they gave you a pivot almost to give it the look of the folder. I don't know. I'm guessing that's a T10. These are all T8 that are holding on the inlays. You do have a somewhat of a 90-degree spine up here, kind of where that jimping is. You can see some of it came off because I was striking a ferro rod with it. I was actually in disbelief because it struck the ferro rod even with the coating. Now it is going to take the coating off of that area, but if you need to strike a ferro rod with this, you can. You don't have to use the edge or anything. The premium version comes in at $157. I think it's worth that, no doubt. But I will say, you know, I'm more likely to recommend the version that I picked up, the Nitro-V steel, G10 and micarta. It's going to lighten it up a little bit, but if you're looking for something a little bit more dressy, a little bit more premium, then this is the way to go. It's like I said, it's not overly heavy or anything, I'm sure, being that they milled out all this spot for the inlays. That brought the weight down, and knowing Kizer, they might have even milled inside of the aluminum over here. I don't know. I haven't taken those apart, and after doing batoning with this knife, I thought it did great. The coating did not come off, but it did wear it down a good bit. I mean, that's to be expected. It's not a DLC finish. I'm guessing it's a PVD coating. So I thought it held up really well. And one thing I was glad to see, the scales or the inlays, nothing loosened up after I did all the batoning. And that is always a good thing because a lot of times, you know, if you got the bolt-on scales doing batoning, it does such a number of those scales because of the vibration, and none of these were loosened. So excellent job there. I don't know if they red Loctite or not, but they definitely held their own there. So if you're interested in picking up one of these or one of the budget ones, I will have them all. Everything you see in this video will be linked down in the description. They're trying to push their Amazon a lot more because it's a US distributor. So I will have the Amazon links, and then probably at the bottom, I will have just all the new stuff in one link probably that's coming from Kizer. So it depends on where you'd like to get it from. There will be affiliate links, so if you want to help support what I do here, it helps me buy my testing materials and other knives for the channel. I can't thank you enough, but if not, no big deal at all. Well, I did hear a few people say in my video when I did this review that they absolutely loved the premium one, but they couldn't afford. I think it's $159, which I think is a great deal, but I get it. Some people can't afford to spend that kind of money. And like I said, in the unboxing of these, they came out with the more budget version. Now, this is definitely not the one I would have chose with this crazy looking G10 inlay, but they have so many awesome ones. I may have to pick up one of those as well. But one thing I will say is the full size version of this knife in this budget format performed the best out of all the knives I tested today. I tested every one of these Militaws that were sent to me. This one did outstanding. This one's got a beautiful action as well. Nice smooth action. Great front flipping if you like that. Contoured scales. Now, one thing that I noticed on all the Militaws is there is no lefty love. I don't know if there's going to be any lefty models, but currently there's no lefty love on any of them. This one's comfortable. Like I said, some of the other inlay options I think look really nice. They got micarta, they got other G10, they got Ultim. All in all, this is a great one, especially at the price tag. It's in Nitro-V stainless steel. I like Kizer's Nitro-V a good bit. They rock well on it from 60 to 62. If I had to take a wild guess, I would say it's probably 60 to 61-ish, maybe. Maybe I'll have to send one of these out to get tested. But I will say, if you get one of these and it's just not performing, you know, to what you thought, sharpen it up. You know, you can either lay the edge bevel back and that'll make it even, you know, 10 times better. But All of these that I've tested, I'm going to sharpen them all up, and I can attest to the fact that if it performed good with the factory edge, every time I put my own edge on it, it tends to last 2 to 3 times longer with a new edge. You know, that could be because of fatigued steel at the apex. That could be a lot of things. It just wasn't sharpened that great. It could have been over polished or over buffed, whatever, however they do it. Once I put at least 1, 2, even 3 sharpenings, the performance jumps up each time. It tops out about after the 3rd, 4th sharpening, depending. So I think the price tag on these, I think they should be accessible to pretty much everybody. Inset liner lock, you got nice lockup, no play. These things are super tight locked up. You do have a deep carry pocket clip. It's not inset into the G10. However, it is rounded all over the front, so I hadn't had any issues with this going in and out of the pocket. Good access to that lock bar, no problem. I do think they did miss out by not having lefty carry here, because you can easily actuate that thumb hole left-handed and that front flipper, because you don't have a lock bar that's pushing down on you. So I think they could have at least made some of these budget ones lefty friendly, but you know, I'm not the designer. I'm not Kizer. So this one will be linked down below as well. Great Christmas gift idea, birthday present, Father's Day, you name it. I think this would make pretty much anybody happy, especially if you choose one that you think suits them the best. What do y'all think about this crazy material on there? I don't like it at all, but that's me. Somebody might like it. We also have a premium mini Militaw. There's tons of versions of this as well. The inlays, you can easily anodize those with a torch. I did some of that. It's thin enough to where even one of those torch lighters, candle lighters, would anodize it pretty easily also. You can kind of make it your own. You could put something behind there. There's a lot of stuff you could do with that if you wanted to. But yeah, I've been carrying this one probably the most. Super lightweight. This particular version, in my opinion, is a little bit of an upgrade. The full-size version is in S35VN. The mini right here is in S45VN. And I say that because after testing Kizer's Drop Bear and S45VN with that DLC finish, I am impressed. Super smooth on this. Nice front flipping action. Easy one to carry. I think my only real gripe on this, besides no lefty love, is the sharpening choil. You can see where this plunge line's coming down right here. You may start to flare after that first sharpening. I don't know. I haven't sharpened this one yet. I do wish they would open this up a little bit. But I think you have an internal stop pin anyway. Yeah, so you could easily open that up yourself with a diamond file or a Dremel, whatever you feel comfortable doing. On this side, you have the opposite of this side. This one's carbon fiber titanium. Then you have titanium and carbon fiber. Militaw pocket clip. Here's your size reference, and I'm going to give you the specs real quick. The mini Militaw is coming in at 6.68 inches long. It's got a 2.8-inch drop point blade of S45VN steel on this particular one. Your grip area from here, up here in the front where that flat spot is, to the back is 3.6 inches. And all in all, like I said, a super lightweight knife, but there's no lefty love on that one as well. Like I said the other day, if you love this one, but you can't afford the price tag on it, they still got you covered with the budget mini Militaw. Now, I like this one with the green G10 black micarta inlays. They did a great job on these inlays, especially on these budget ones. They're nice and tight fitment. And what I like about this one over its bigger brother is, look, see this? This is after use too. After doing all the testing, the black wash, in my opinion, looks even better. And then you have just a plain black. These, like on that fixed blade, don't look that great after some use. Now this one has the same exact specs, except your 2.8-inch blade is Nitro-V stainless steel. It's got nice and thin blade stock at 0.097. And this little sucker is nice and slicey at 16 thousandths behind the edge. Great slicer. I can get a nice 4-finger grip on it. I can even choke back, still get somewhat of a 4-finger grip there. Easy to get to the tip, being it's a smaller blade. I can use that tip or just use that belly. It's slicey enough, the liner lock. It's nice and smooth. Excellent reverse flick action. And I will say, this one has an outstanding front flipping action. Sharpening choil on this one, you can see needs to be enlarged because you can see they even hit a little bit of this coating off right there. So it's probably going to widen after the first sharpening. So I'll open that up myself. Easily done because there's the internal stop pin. Flow through construction on these and on the premium ones, as you can see there. Quick weight on the premium is 68.5 grams. The budget is coming in at 73.1 grams or 2.578 ounces. Very lightweight. This one's super lightweight at 2.416 ounces. So, like I said previously to all the other ones, if you're interested in either one of these, the premium one or the one of the budget ones, I will have them all linked in the description. We have the mini grouper. I didn't love this one because of these carbon fiber G10 laminate scales, but they do have one with just G10. But I will say, such a great slicer. The new Halloween edition, purple. They also have the orange with the orange thumb studs with the jack-o'-lantern. And then you have the pumpkin jack-o'-lantern on the blade with the bats. And on this side, it says trick or treat. This one does have lefty love. The action on these, flawless. And this one is a button liner lock. You can see this button right here. It's hooked to that liner lock like a compression lock. Push that over. These things are so smooth and super slicey. Highly versatile blades because you have a very low tip. Got enough belly to cut on a flat cutting surface easily. You can get about a little bit over half the blade on a cutting surface before this flipper tab hits it. Easy to use that tip. Very, very nicely done. Very comfortable in my hands. An excellent long row of functional grippy jimping. Look how good that black wash looks. Excellent sharpening choil. You're going to have all this to where my fingernail is before it'll widen at the heel. Quick specs on these. They're coming in at 7.56 inches long. They have a 3.16 inch full flat ground drop point blade of Nitro-V stainless steel. Rockwell from 60 to 62 HRC. Both of these are ground around 14 thousandths at the thinnest portion behind the edge. So they're very, very slicey. And I call it a full flat. You do have this little bitty spot right here that's flat. But from here all the way down to that tip is a full flat, so I consider that a full flat. It slices like a full flat, that's all I'm going to say. The weight on this one's coming in at 4.1 ounces, not bad at all. They're slicey and they're super versatile when it comes to those blades. I was about to wrap it up and I almost forgot about my favorite of the Militaws, these premium Militaws in S45VN with that beautiful gloss DLC finish there with the gold dark matter fact carbon. This was probably my most carried and used of the premium ones if I had to guess. It was the regular one, but I love these. I don't know if these are still available or not, so I'll find them and link them. And then, of course, the one with the purple haze, the same setup as that one. Both of them S45VN. Great knives. And if you could, let me know in the comments section, what do you think about the brand new Vosteed and Ray Laconico Vallhund? Do you like it? I like it a lot. I just got it not too long ago, so I haven't started testing it yet. But I have started carrying it. Awesome little knife. And which one of these new Kizers that are dropping is your favorite? And do you plan on getting any? Like I said, if you do happen to use my links, can't thank you enough, but don't ever feel obligated. If you have any questions about anything in particular, feel free to ask me down below. I hope every one of y'all is having an absolute amazing day. And remember, guys, keep those blades sharp, smile more.